down now to the entrance of the players. They're the names on the bottom of the trophy. Marseille completed the only other previous hat-trick of wins. Out comes the referee leading them out, Rudy Bouquet, his second League Cup final. He took charge of Saint-Etienne's win over Rennes. Cloudy now, but it has been a lovely evening. You can just see there the sunset out to the west of Paris, and out they come then. And there is the great Zlatan Ibrahimovic, who has scored 5 goals in his last 7 League Cup ties, all victories. They have the pedigree, they have more fans in it, but marginally. Lille just an hour away, of course.
This is a PSG group that just don't lose in this competition, do they, Jonathan? Won it for the past 2 years, trying to make it a hat-trick, and also that domestic treble once again.
The anthem of the French League Cup. When they arrived at the stadium, I can tell you, Lille cut a more casual-looking group. Paris Saint-Germain looked a little bit tense.
Yeah, maybe just because they certainly look very, very smart with their collars and ties, and the Lille group looked very, very relaxed and casual. Just wonders how this game unfolds for Lille. They couldn't come into this final in better form. Absolutely superb run, 6 victories back-to-back. If there's any team in France at the moment that could run PSG close, it is Lille.
Here's confirmation of that team again, Clive, and the big news is that Lucas Moura is preferred to Cavani. What do you make of that?
Well, I think it's his pace, and I think that he scored the winning goal against Lille on the opening day of the season. He's a player for the big occasion as well, as are so many of this PSG squad. But for me, that looks to be a formidable front three.
David Luiz, of course, at the back. In fact, one of the backing dancers to Jim's rap act looked suspiciously like David Luiz. I wonder if he's found another career for himself. He's on the bench tonight, of course. As is for Paris Saint-Germain, by the way, Verratti. Good to see him back in action. He hasn't played since February. And the underdogs. And they will be spiky underdogs from Lille. There's Rudy Bouquet. His assistants await the captains. Good player is Ria Mavuba, has been over the year. He won the double here, completed it with Lille back in 2011. He has the big game experience. Now we have a virtual reality kick-off, as we do so often for these big occasions in France. We were promised a sight of Bernard Lama and Michel Landreau onto the field of play. We'll await that. Mascot gets a handshake. Frederic Antonelli, the coach of Lille, says they need to up a gear to be competitive, and there's Laurent Blanc, who's won everything he can do domestically, but that Champions League failure appears to have cost him his job. The Lille side, well, they have experience there of Mavuba and Amalfitano, who has been a winner of this competition in the past, but all eyes, I would think, on Buffon and Eder, of course, who's on loan from Swansea City.
Well, I think this is an exciting Lille side. A team that's scoring goals, 4 in their last 2 league games, and certainly the confidence and the quality that Buffon has shown in front of goal could threaten this PSG rearguard.
Lovely to see Franck Berrier on the bench as well, at 32 years of age, nearly 300 games into his Lille career. There they are, the 2 goalkeepers from yesteryear. I remember watching Landreau as a teenager to Nantes, thinking what a great future he had ahead of him. There's Vincent Enyeama, penalty shootout hero earlier on in the competition against Guingamp. Saved a couple. Never too sure what that's all about, to be honest. So we can get down to business. Off go the heroes of yesteryear. And as the sun sets, will it set on the treble dreams of Paris Saint-Germain? Big night for the referee, who can be a bit twitchy with his cards. 88 yellows, 6 reds in 22 games this season in Ligue 1 and 2. Di María, interestingly, starting on the right-hand side. Maura on the left. That may well change.
Best side for me, I think he's so effective, as we saw with the semi-final goal that he scored. Coming off the right with that wonderful left foot.
From there.
Jonathan, should have been a goal. It was a slow start, poor defending, Ibrahimovic. And the only thing you would say is that it's fallen on Di Maria's wrong foot. That right foot doesn't get the connection or the direction that's needed to open the scoring.
Within 30 seconds, he should have scored his 15th of the season. He's been involved in 60% of their League Cup goals thus far in this competition. And by the by, the front three for Paris Saint-Germain have 68 goals between them this season.
What a way to start a cup final as well. Di María with the clearest of chances. Got to give Enyeama some credit for the stop, but it certainly wasn't the clinical strike that you would have expected. Into the ground, the keeper moving away to his right-hand side to make a smart save in the first minute. He's a big game goalkeeper who was man of the match in the World Cup finals of 2010 for Nigeria against Argentina and Germany, I think it was. If my memory serves me correctly, I remember Lionel Messi describing his performance as phenomenal. And he's won cup competitions in his past. Israeli Cup with the Hapoel Tel Aviv. Well, his biggest strength for me, Jonathan, has always been his shot stopping. He is an amazing athlete, and that is an important start to this game for Enyeama and his team.
Di María gives his own goalkeeper Sirigu work to do. He's the cup goalkeeper again this year. Played in the round 4 and in the quarter-final, and he gathers that. I think you'd like to see him as the first choice goalkeeper, wouldn't you, Paris Saint-Germain?
I think he's the more consistent. Trapp has made some, I think, very, very basic mistakes in this season, whether that's just been because of his inactivity at times in the league games. But Sirigu, for me, has certainly played some fantastic games in the cup competition, and for me would be the #1 choice.
He'll need to settle down. Thiago Silva bossing things at the back. So never lost a League Cup tie for Paris Saint-Germain in 9 games. And here's Rabiot, played every minute of this run so far. Profited really because of the injury to Verratti. He's been out with a groin problem, been out for a long periods this season as well with other injuries. Tweedy, who can run all day long. Maura, Zawa arriving on the outside. Maura cutting inside. Will have a go at goal. And Enyeama needed to hold it because Ibrahimovic was coming in.
And again, it's good handling because Lucas Moura coming off the left side onto his favoured right. And the ball bouncing wickedly in front of Enyeama, but good concentration and fine handling from the Lille keeper.
He had that terrific run in 2013-14 when he kept 11 clean sheets in a row. And he's a penalty shootout expert. So 3 penalties in the African Cup of Nations quarter-final of 2006, I remember.
And if we were to go that far tonight, Jonathan, he would be the one you'd want between the sticks in a penalty shootout. He has an amazing record.
Rabiot, Paris Saint-Germain taking it down to walking pace.
And this is what they do, Jonathan. This is the way that they almost ease their way into the game, keeping possession of the ball for long periods, and then they can change up a gear, they can change the pace in an instant.
Serge Aurier, played in the semi-final, was booked in that game, the Ivorian.
I think relieved Antonetti standing in that technical area. He knows his team could have been chasing a deficit very, very early in this game.
Placed Renard into Antonelli. 18 years as a pair, main spells with Bastia, Bezier, the coach since '94. Silva looks long. I think that'll run away and out of play despite the run of Kurzawa. little run of league starts as well, 3 in their last 5 as they've completed the league title. Paris Saint-Germain at a canter, really. Already 3 points better off than they finished with last season.
And I've always felt that that's cost them. It's cost them in the Champions League, because the real intensity and edge that they need in the latter stages of the Champions League has been missing.
Ibrahimovic to the edge of the penalty area, and again Enyeama well positioned as he worked the ball onto the feet of Lucas Moura to have the shot.
Well, already the chances are being created comfortably by PSG on the break, and this time Lucas Moura just opening up, I think, showing Enyeama exactly what he's trying to do, wind that ball into the far corner, and the Lille goalkeeper perfectly placed once again.
What do you make of Adair through the middle for Lille? This is his League Cup debut.
I think he gives them that physical presence, and certainly I think Antonetti will be looking for him to try to get between the two centre-halves, between Marquinhos and Silva. And he does possess an aerial threat as well, which I think could be used to advantage.
Never happiest of times at Swansea after the big money move from Braga. Cost 5 million, didn't score for the Swans. There he is, though. And pushed him behind him all the way through to Sirigu. Paris Saint-Germain form has hiccuped of late. They've only won 4 of their last 7 games. They have, I would hasten to add, lost just 4 of their last 59. And in this city, whether at their own ground or here, they're almost unbeaten.
I think the Parisians come to be entertained. They expect victory with style and with panache.
They didn't get it in the Champions League against Manchester City, and that's why Laurent Blanc is coming to the end of the road. Mourinho, where does Ibrahimovic go? Where does Cavani go? Questions, and they'll have to answer a few here, because as Rabiot went in, the referee and his assistant have given a corner.
First real foray for Lille, getting forward down that right-hand side, drawing a set-piece, and I feel a set-piece could be their best chance of opening the scoring here tonight.
I think that's why Basho's in the side. He's 6'3". He's relatively fresh after his injuries earlier this season. Eder, 6'3" as well. Ibrahimovic should be vital, as will the goalkeeper who comes, and that's a positive claim by the man who's won the last 2 League Cup competitions.
That's good goalkeeping, because it takes the pressure off the defenders. They know that your own goalkeeper is commanding in that 6-yard box, prepared to come and take the ball very, very high.
There are hoodoo figures in this Paris Saint-Germain side for Lille. Rabiot, Ibrahimovic, Moura, Thiago Silva, Marquinhos. They've never lost against a Lille side. Here's Di María. It's a good competition in the League Cup this year. And that's good work by Boufal, who have to come up and down that left-hand side, get forward, cover back. Oh, it's a stumbling mistake given away. Di María can afford mistakes like that. Oh, nearly onto it. And, winning it back was Kurzawa, but Rabiot has to cover across.
And Lille fortunate, because, as you say, Jonathan, rightly, you cannot make mistakes against this PSG side. The quality that they possess throughout the team, they will punish you. Lille have got away with an early scare with the Di María shot, and to give them opportunities, especially around their penalty area, is a dangerous game to play.
Marquinhos. Rabiot seeing a lot of the ball. He's still only 21. And a big season. And Tweedy unbeaten in 13 League Cup ties, going back some 7 years now. Aurier, one of last season's winning side, the signing from Toulouse.
And this is what they do, Jonathan. You'll have Moura coming off the left-hand side, Di María going infield to allow the fullbacks to get forward, but then you can punish them where the fullbacks are scrambling to get back into position, as we see here.
Boufal to Rio Mavuba. pressure arriving from the back. And cross fizzing on through for another corner. Korsha will get forward from right back, loves to do that. And Sidibé makes leggy runs down the left for them as well. Talented player is Boufal. He's only 22, scored 5 goals in his last 7. And the goalkeeper who can't up his own laces. Marfitano touches it short. Ibrahimovic back defending.
Well, they've obviously worked on that short corner, and the one player you have to miss out is Ibrahimovic at the front of that 6-yard box. He's in that area to patrol that flat, low cross. And they've got the crossing position, and then it goes straight into Ibrahimovic, who clears easily.
We're talking about a lack of experience of some of the Lille players. But Marfitano has been to the final before and won it with Marseille. He's been in 4 semi-finals in this competition. The side now have a free kick. Avuba goes down.
Yeah, it's just clipped by Mora. You can see he's moving the ball away from Lucas Moura's right leg as he makes contact. Now this is an opportunity to deliver with quality. Try to take advantage of that aerial threat that they have.
It's very unusual to hear the referee mic'd up like that. I wonder what you think of that watching at home. Quite refreshing for me.
I think it's great, Jonathan. Yeah, I really do.
A lot of people want to hear it in the Premier League. Basher up. He has scored against Paris Saint-Germain in the past. It's a disappointing free kick, but it spins all the way through. And Sirigu has to come and gather the little deflection of Lucas Moura, I think it was.
Yeah, it's a miss hit in there. Amadou tries to help it on. He misses it as well, and the ball ricochets up. Fortunately for Sirigu, straight to the outside of the near post. But again, poor delivery from a good situation. A decent opportunity for Lille to put PSG under pressure.
Last season's final, no real competition. Bastia beaten 4-0, 2 for Ibrahimovic, 2 for Cavani. Previous year it was tied against Lyon. Again, Cavani got a couple, one from the spot. And then they come on the attack again. Aurier. Ivory Coast World Cup player. Back it goes. And poked out wide to him again by Pastore. Cross towards the far post. And all the way through. Basha may have got a touch.
Ibra's just remonstrating with Aurier, saying there's 3 players to pick out along the 6-yard line, and he fires it too close to the goal. Poor decision by Aurier with the delivery.
Key confrontation, Ibrahimovic against Soumaoro, who seems to be the man detailed with him. So he's had a good spell. He started 25 of their last 27 games at Ana Soumaoro, who's come through the youth ranks at Lille. Just seen there to the left of your picture is it's a foul on Kurzawa.
Really clever play from Kurzawa, the way he receives the ball on the touchline, lets it run and drags it behind him. As the challenge comes in, you can see clearly his left boot taken from under him.
Paris Saint-Germain, a team who scored 126 goals this season, but Lille came here just a few weeks ago to the city of Paris, down the road at the Parc des Princes, and drew 0-0. They had a game plan that day. Frédéric Antonelli keeping his cards close to his chest in the build-up to this. Soumaoro needs to keep a tight grip in there. He did enough. Good chase by Javier Pastore. He had the one game in this competition against Lyon. Already Paris Saint-Germain dominating possession. Thiago Silva, who was out for a month, turn of the year with a knee problem.
Jonathan, the important thing is 15 minutes on the clock, the real early scare in that first minute. They'll still find themselves all square.
Brazilians at the heart of the Paris Saint-Germain defence, with Marquinhos alongside Thiago Silva. Here's Ibrahimovic. Maxwell, by the way, the regular left-back who scored the semi-winner against Lille, is amongst the Paris Saint-Germain substitutes, along with Luis. Cavani there, Verratti there on that bench. There's Pastore. And a little bit early.
Yeah, just that 2 steps before he even takes off to sprint into that area. He's wagging his finger, but sorry, Zlatan, you were offside.
After 757 career games and 416 goals, would he be going early to a Premier League side when this French season finishes? His contract is up. Where do you think he'll end up, Clive? Well, maybe we'll come to you on that in a moment, because here's Eder. Mavuba. Too high for Buffal.
Jonathan, I'd love to see him in the Premier League, even if it might be in his latter years of his career. I think he's an outstanding centre-forward. He's won every domestic honour that there is to win across Europe, except for the Premier League, and how I think he'd be a magnificent attraction for many of the top teams, or any of the teams in the Premier League, I have to say.
14 titles in 16 years across Europe for Ibrahimovic. Holland and Italy, Spain, France, Sweden. He's won the title in all of them. This is Marco Basha, the Serb international. Enyeama. Anchoring the midfield for Lille, and a chance here for Sidibé to get forward for the first time, really. Working with Sofiane Buffal, hat-trick at the weekend, taking his tally to 11 goals this season.
A rare foray into the heart of that PSG defence, and Aurier using his strength. We see certainly Silva combative with Eder. He's not going to give him any time or space. I think probably the start that we expected to this final, in that the domination of possession is from PSG. This is the way that they play the majority of their games, controlling the tempo of the game with possession of the ball.
Away through the middle, on by Sumaro. Back over the top. Here comes Enyeama. Smartly to save and protect what would be a 16th clean sheet this season. Looking for Eder. It's a foul. Chance early.
That's a fine header for me. Look, Thiago Silva leaps at least 2 foot over the top of Eder.
Sidibé with the cross. He was caught late, and the referee's made a right decision here, and he's pulling out the first yellow card of this League Cup final, and it goes to Serge Aurier, and I think the referee's spot on with this.
He's absolutely right, because Aurier is horribly late as the cross comes in. He catches Sidibé. You watch, the cross is gone, and you can see the way that he throws himself, making contact with that left ankle. That is a sore one for Sidibé.
And they know how important it is to get Sidibé down that left-hand side. Scored in the run in the League Cup against Stade Lavallois. Now, while we're seeing this treatment, let me tell you about tomorrow's FA Cup semi-final action coming your way. Crystal Palace against Watford, the second semi for the right to play Manchester United to beat Everton 2-1 in extra time at Wembley today. Tomorrow, 6:30, European football show, with all the news from the European scene as Juventus close in on another title. They go to Fiorentina tomorrow. A couple of wins, maybe tomorrow they could do it. A couple of wins for them should see them home. I love hearing the referee explaining the decisions, talking to the players, whatever level referees officiate at, whether it's schoolboy level all the way up to the top of the game. I think this is really important they explain.
It's fantastic. He's asking the question what the free kick taker wants. He's making sure that Obviously in that wall, the defenders are at the right distance, that they don't raise their arms, as you can see.
Amadou in there, a little whisper to his teammate, and it comes flying through the air, and Ibrahimovic got the touch at the near post. He's so vital in both penalty areas in the air.
Jonathan, that's what he's detailed to do. Patrol that near post area in the 6-yard box. It's a decent delivery. Ibra does enough, just the faintest of touches, takes it away from any of those Lille players attacking it behind him.
Eder will try and get a run on his marker here. And Ibrahimovic was in the thick of things. They don't know about it to Boufal. Tried to cut inside. Haven't really got Munir Obadi on the board yet, the Moroccan international talented player. Tweedy covers so much ground for Paris Saint-Germain. So, still for me, so underrated. Not in French football though.
No, he's going to be vital for France in the Euros come this summer.
It all opens here in the European Championship finals. There is Matuidi to Lucas Moura. His compatriot and captain lifts it away. Pastore tried to follow that up and he's given it away. Here is Obadi. And Ibrahim Amadou, impressive 23-year-old. Cross from Korsha. So much for Lille will depend on getting their fullbacks high.
And I think, as we've just seen there in the last couple of minutes, getting some pressure higher up the field, not allowing PSG to come out easily with the ball. They've forced them to turn possession over, and then Lille have got possession higher up the field. Good little period for Lille.
Korsha's had a very good run. He's not missed a minute of this League Cup success. He scored against Nantes from 25 yards out in the quarter. Last year, I think that was. His first shot came in, he was just offside, and that's what they've judged on the very first shot. But you can argue it's ping-ponged around off certainly two Paris Saint-Germain touches.
Before then, it breaking in, it didn't actually come into his path, but then he's deemed to become active.
7 domestic wins in the last 10 games for Paris Saint-Germain. But Clive told you right at the top of the programme that Lille have been in very good form. If there is a team that can stop Paris Saint-Germain at the moment in French football, it's Lille. Building up to be a good final. This could be crucial. Di Maria's cross and a brilliant piece of defending at the far post to turn it away. Great header, Korsha there, well positioned. That's where he needed to be, but he needed to be strong and resolute, and he was.
That's brilliant defending, because he has two players, Matuidi and Moura, who are homing in on that cross, the right-footed cross to the back post. You can see they're both ready to try to volley home. Korsha throws himself to make the all-important heady clearance. Great defending.
Only 5'9". Got up well, in comes the cross, and Enyeama chose to punch. And he gathers that. Zawa with the ball back in. Decent chest trap by Aurier. Marquinhos and Thiago Silva have switched. Marquinhos has gone to the left of the two centre-backs. Only a little thing, but I wonder why they've done it.
I think they're just versatile and they're quite happy to switch sides. Obviously they rotate. David Luiz is sometimes in there, will play on the left or right hand side.
Marquinhos has played in a couple of ties so far in this competition. He played in the round of 32 and the quarter-final.
That's the question, Jonathan. I wonder, the players must know that the referee's mic'd up.
Well, that would be, I think, the problem for the Premier League, because to put a mark marketing perspective on it, advertisers and people who invest a lot of money in the game would not be able to stand foul language being heard.
Absolutely.
Mind you, it might stamp out the foul language. They'd only do it once. Rabiot challenging for that. Back it goes to Zurich. Awkward that for the goalkeeper, actually. He played that out decently, Paris Saint-Germain.
They just needed to support. Adair went to Sirigu and he needs players to follow him up, because this is what PSG can do. They'll counter against you very, very quickly when you're out of shape.
Pastore had a look, 3 men in the penalty area. This was easily blocked by Sidibé. Back in it goes, quickly by Rabiot. Pastore had a look again, chips it into the penalty area. Put it out by Sumauro. Look how quickly they throw players forward in their own counter-attack. Mavuba steadies things down, looking for a Malpitano, pressurizes Lucas Moura. At the moment, the Brazilian number 7 has not justified, I don't think, his elevation above Cavani.
No, long way to go though. It's really a fascinating stage of the game at the moment, because Lille have certainly grown. Throwing himself in front of the goalkeeper, he's taken one for his team there, but what a magnificent defensive block.
He was out for a couple of months injured this season. He's only played 4 league games since November. The 6'3", 33-year-old Serb saved his team there. Champions League back with you this week. What a game. Manchester City against Real Madrid. Ronaldo out of the Real Madrid side with an injury today. That's Tuesday for you. And of course Liverpool in the Europa League semi-final, first leg at Villarreal on Thursday. Built up a very good lead against Newcastle in the Premier League and looked comfortable, and then Newcastle came back into it at Anfield earlier. Liverpool will have to be better than that against Villarreal. A lot of people taking that game for granted. Not too sure. Look at this for a piece of defending.
Well, that's a magnificent block, first of all, to get across Lucas Moura's shot, but then he knows that there's going to be a challenge from the advancing Moura, because his momentum can only but take him into Bassa. What a magnificent defensive block for his team.
There's a competition that occasionally has thrown up surprises. Lille holding on, 35 minutes gone. And away by Ibrahim Amadou. At times he's playing like a third centre-back. Just sitting in front of his centre-backs. One of the biggest surprises in this. It went at penalties between Paris Saint-Germain and Bordeaux in '99. I'll tell you about that in a moment. Because this is a promising Paris Saint-Germain build-up. Cross coming in from far side, and recovered well as Kurzawa got forward. In 1990 went to penalties. Paris Saint-Germain won. One of the biggest surprises I've ever seen. Jean-Pierre Papin missed from the spot in the shootout. That never used to happen.
Certainly didn't. I was going to say that if it was penalties and it was Bordeaux, then I would say PSG would win.
In comes the cross all the way through it.
Unfortunately, I've had a history myself with Bordeaux and penalty shootouts.
He was one of 2 players that day, Papin, missed from the spot. A great goal scorer he was.
I think what we've seen from PSG, for their controlled possession at the back, their best chances have come from more direct, longer passes and runs of Ibrahimovic and Di María in behind that Lille defence. It's not a pretty build-up, it's more direct. It's more precision with longer passes that they're looking for to try to break the resistance of this Lille side.
And they hit up to Adair, very much their outball, very much their target man. There was a thought that Benzia would be pushed into a more central role and that Adair would be left out, but playing a key role at this moment in time. top forward towards Ada again. This time the decision goes against him. Howard caught round the face. Eight shots to 2. Too sure where they get those from. I'll make it Paris Saint-Germain have had 5 decent efforts. And now here comes another one, perhaps. Enyeama was alive to it. He's having a very good League Cup final, the Nigerian goalkeeper.
Great starting position from Enyeama, but again, that's the ploy that PSG have started to use. That run from Di María from the right, inside the fullback, between the centre-half, and the straight delivery down the middle. But the starting position of Enyeama was perfect, sweeping from behind.
Should it come to penalties, he can stop them and score them. He scored 9 career penalties out of 10. Now, Paris Saint-Germain beginning to open them up. Matuidi with the cross. To settle for the throw. Usher with the challenge. Marpatano got a touch. Mavuba around the corner. Here's Adair. High passes Obadi. It comes out wide here then to Sofiane Boufal. Obadi
goes smart to leave his line.
Won the League Cup in Portugal with the Braga Adair. Scored 33 goals there in 85 games. That's why Swansea paid the big money for him last summer. It didn't quite work for him there. Only had a couple of league starts, mind you. Stade de France atmospheric. Flags raising amongst the Lille supporters. Normal colours red and blue. Rabiot. There's of course some understandable concern about the final, security issues, as there will be in the Euros. Aurier to the dead ball line and has won the corner.
Clever. He breaks the tackle with Boufal and then he's direct and positive down the right hand side to win his team a corner.
Ibrahimovic awaits 42 goals this season.
I feel he thinks he's impeded when that shot comes back through a crowd.
Let's have a look. If there's a player in his line of vision in an offside position, it should be given. Well, Kazawa was in there. He makes that run towards the near post and stays in.
So sure he does. But is he in an offside position? That's the other question. And from that angle, this will be the best angle for us to see it. You can see Kazawa, when the strike goes in, offside. No doubt that it should be given offside.
Apologies of the loss of pictures, I gather, back at home. We hope to rectify that momentarily.
Disappointment for those Lille supporters, but for me, the referee has to make that instant decision. But you can see that definitely he impeded Enyeama, but the crucial decision is he offside when that shot's taken, and I feel he was.
Rabiot clears. I gather you've got the pictures back at home now. Yes, there was a defender there, but there has to be 2 defenders goal side, not necessarily the goalkeeper, don't forget. There was a big deflection, by the way, off Samaro as the shot came through. But Paris Saint-Germain have the all-important break. And they'll come back here. Sidibé. Hoist the cross and looking for Ada and away. Good defending that by Thiago Silva, who needed to be strong.
He did. He goes shoulder to shoulder with Adair. Good delivery. One for Adair to attack. But you can see how strong he is, holding off the attentions of Adair and clearing. Controversial it might be, but a lovely moment for Javier Pastore. He's had
problems this season with a hamstring injury, then a calf injury. He's missed 4 months in all. They've dominated the ball. Well, we expected them to do that. Maura. So the run of Matuidi. There's Basha. Now you have to ask, have Lille got enough in their locker to come back into the game? They've only scored 37 league goals all season. 11 of those, almost a third, have come in their last 3 games.
Well, that must give them confidence, because they're in goal-scoring form. They've won 6 on the bounce. So there's no reason why they should not believe that they can get back into this cup tie.
And foul to Sidibé. Badi comes here then to Amadou, dispossessed, and here come Paris Saint-Germain with another lightning breakaway. The goal scorer has it, and now Di María back to Pastore. Lovely loop pass. Di María will keep it in. First time back into the middle. Ibrahimovic just drawing away from Korsu. Got a vital touch.
Great defensive position again from Korsu, the Lille right back. Knows that ball's going to be stood up to the back post for Ibrahimovic, and he gets back goal side. You can see his reaction immediately.
If he makes any movement towards the ball, he becomes active and therefore would be in an offside position. And Enyeama clearly feels that he would have been able to get that ball. So, the balance of all those arguments, what are you saying? It should have been ruled out?
I think it should have been deemed offside.
Foul by Amadou on Matuidi. Go back to Korsu, you know, he's in his mid-20s, been around the houses, he's approaching 300 games, he's a snip at £1.3 million from Sochaux. He's played well in this final. There's Amadou with the wrestling.
A rugby tackle that was on Matuidi. And then Matuidi just tweaks that left knee as he falls.
He missed 4 league games this season, but crucially missed the away game in Manchester. 2 minutes of stoppage time. Rabiot. Easy does it from Marquinhos. Thiago Silva, 10 years his senior. The back for Paris Saint-Germain. Ibrahimovic, Aurier, and you can see the frustration. Antonelli on the touchline, the body language, unhappy that Aurier had too much room, but he didn't do anything with it. And that's a foul by Rabiot on Buffon.
Yeah, completely missed time by Rabiot, but one in which certainly broke the opportunity up for Lille to counter-attack. You can see he's trying to block the ball initially, but he then made sure that Buffon doesn't progress past him.
That's a strong challenge. And Matuidi unhappy with it. Retribution by Buffon, or just simply clumsy missed time?
Yeah, I think he was a little bit naughty there, Buffon. Frustrated because, one, he was fouled by Rabiot, and then they tried to play quickly. Matuidi coming back.
Can be a bit hot-headed, Buffon. This is Achilles' heel, really. He's been sent off twice this season against Bastia and Rennes. Your overall thoughts on the first half, Clive?
I think it's been a fascinating cup final. I think that the expected favourites have not lived up to that. I think Lille have been resolute. Just disappointed that the right decision for me has not been given, which should have been an offside decision that's given Paris the lead.
Many of you watching will always feel that the big decisions go the way of the big clubs. And that's the way it's gone in this first half. A controversial Paris Saint-Germain goal by Pastore, with Enyeama appealing for offside, and he'll race towards the referee here and plead again his case. It won't count, of course. Can't wipe that out. You can't wipe out the fact that Paris Saint-Germain go in here with the Pastore controversial goal leading it by 1.
First half whistle went. He was remonstrating all the way down the tunnel. They feel as if there's been an injustice done, Lille.
And And for those of you who might have been thinking that Basha was playing him on, no, there have to be two defenders goal side of an attacking player, and clearly Enyeama had gone beyond Kurzawa as the shot came in. So very quickly, let me tell you about the MotoGP of Spain coverage coming up. Race day tomorrow, 9:30 AM on 2HD Live. Some repairs there for the Paris Saint-Germain goalkeeper Salvatore Sirigu, the Italian international. Went to the World Cup finals in Brazil, played a game there. He's had to be patient this season, only his 11th game of the season. He's only missed one domestic cup tie, and that was the semi-final. But back for the final. Not greatly tested. I can't think they've had a decent effort on target yet, Lille. They're very much still in this game, though.
They are in this game. It is an old adage that you say the next goal is vital. If PSG were to score that goal, I do think that with their, obviously their controlled possession that they have, and the
kicking from right to left, they bossed possession in the first half, let me tell you, by some 61% to 39. They had 9 shots to 2 from Lille, both of those off target. Tellingly, they made 190 passes to Lille's 83. The control of the ball was better than that of Lille, but the underdog's not out of this, as we say. Here's Rabiot, who's patrolled that area well. And they do have so much deadly potency on the break at Paris Saint-Germain. Not their nose, they look for Ibrahimovic.
That's one of their ploys, that Di María coming off the right onto his favoured left foot, and immediately Ibrahimovic took off to try to get in behind that Lille defence. You'll see that time and time again. It was a ploy that nearly worked in that first half, with Ibrahimovic just held him one big chance over Enyeama when he broke the back of that defence.
Basha to Korsha has had a terrific game. Never been on the winning side against Paris Saint-Germain, twice in 15 efforts. Kurzawa lifts it down the line. Basha, Amadou, Sidibé off and running on that left-hand side. Barney didn't play it out to him. Here's Buffal, who's come into a more central position and was caught. Might have been stumbling, but was caught by Rabiot. Free kick to Lille.
Challenge from behind, just as Buffal's about to pull the trigger, fire that shot in.
And a yellow card for Rabiot. They do have an able replacement should they think about a tactical change to protect him. Verratti's back and on the bench. Just caught him there. And I was going to say, why haven't we seen Buffal come into the middle more, which will open up space on the left-hand side for Sidibé to drive into, and that's been a feature of Lille all season.
Well, I think you can see clear indication that was the message at half-time, and that's resulted in a really good opportunity. Now they're in big discussions. Who's going to take it?
Buffal moves away. He's gone against Bordeaux to complete the semi-final romp. Was asking questions in there as well. It won't be him.
There's 6 of them that want it, Jonathan. The captain's going to, I think, be instrumental as to who's going to strike this.
Sidibé. Bush is there as well. In front of them, Sumaro.
Corner. Game level.
Well, he strikes the ball well. That's his 6th goal of the season and his 2nd in this competition. He scored against Stade Lavallois in the round of 16. We were saying, Clive, this League Cup final needed to see more of Djibril Sidibé. Didn't think it was going to be quite like that, but game on again.
Well, I don't know who finally decided who was going to take that free kick, but whoever's decision it was the right one. And it was perfectly executed.
Not quite worked out how he hasn't kicked on from the one French under-21 cap he picked up back in October of 2013. Here's Maura. Rude awakening that for Paris Saint-Germain. Pastore, their goal scorer. But it for Ibrahimovic, header wide.
And that's a chance. It's a chance for big Zlatan Ibrahimovic. That's the type of service that he thrives on. Di María winding that left foot header in. I think the centre-half actually gets a block on that. That should have been a corner. Ibra's header is on target before it's deflected away.
have Paris Saint-Germain got enough competitive streak in them? The reason I say that, they've won the league at a canter without barely breaking sweat. But when they had to be ultra competitive against Manchester City in the Champions League, they couldn't raise it. They've got a big French Cup final coming up against Marseille, which should be bitterly fought. That will be competitive. And here Lille have made a real final of this. And we'll see what Paris Saint-Germain are made of.
Jonathan, the thing was, there was one team in France who had been in fantastic form coming into this Cup final, and that was Lille. So they were going to be competitive just purely on the confidence that they've picked up from those results. They've worked their way back into this Cup final. It is game on.
That road, Didier Deschamps looks on. He was much maligned by Eric Cantona, something of a water carrier, he called him. Well, I was in this stadium in 1998 when he led France, carried them to the World Cup final and through to success. Here come Paris Saint-Germain. Di María, Ibrahimovic, over it goes. Corner kick, deflection.
And it's Pastore again who gets an important block. But the swiftness of the counter. Pastore's made some important blocks this evening. None more so than that one, because I think, again, Ibrahimovic's shot is on target before Pastore gets enough of a deflection on it to send it over the crossbar.
He's had a couple of sighters, Ibrahimovic, punched by the goalkeeper. Here's Pastore trying to wriggle into room to get a shot away, and he's fouled his man. He caught Rio Mavuba.
But Pastore, again, unmarked on the edge of that box. He scored the opening goal. This time he picks it up, but clearly, as it ricochets away, catches Mabuba's right knee. Food for thought for Laurent Blanc.
Rio Mavuba, you remember, gained a worldwide press when he first came through to international football level with France, because he'd actually was born at sea. His family refugees from Angola, and his dad Ricky played for the DR Congo, Zaire as they were then, in the World Cup finals of '74. Mum died when he was just 2 or 3, I think. Harsh upbringing. He's been a terrific footballer over the years. In the World Cup finals last time around, had a brief appearance against Honduras, but approaching 350 games now for Lille, and this would really cap it off. They can take advantage of Paris Saint-Germain's hesitancy at the moment.
I always think there's one thing about PSG, is they want to play the game at their pace, at their tempo, and if you can upset that, you can cause them problems. I think there was no doubt Manchester City did, and I think if Lille have taken something from that game, learnt something from that game, they have a clear chance in this cup tie now.
I think Manchester City were the better team over both of the games, even though Paris Saint-Germain, the first game in Paris was a 2-2 draw. Suspicion of a handball there. The referee was well placed. Sidibé comes out with the ball at his feet, tries to sneak a pass through. His Eder challenging for it. The referee got in the way there, and Lille can perhaps profit. Push up.
Well, the first thing that Korsha's done wrong all evening, Dirigu, no chance at all.
Another player who hasn't progressed from under-21 level, Korsha, but he had a very good run with the under-21s. In 3 years he played 25 times at that level. So France have talent in depth, as you might find out in the Summer European Championships. Here's Lucas Moura looking for Ibrahimovic. And as ever, Vincent Enyeama aware to the danger. Abadi. Good run by Marfatana. The ball too long though. He won't keep that in play, I'm sure.
Well, that was an opportunity passed up, because Marfatana had made a brilliant run. When Enyeama picked the ball up, they broke swiftly again, Lille. PSG out of shape. So we see Cavani, Verratti starting their warm-ups. Maybe Laurent Blanc feels changes are needed.
1-1. Both goals either side of the break. Pastore, Rabiot. be a role played, I would imagine, in this final by Ibrahimovic. He's too shy of 150 goals for Paris Saint-Germain. He lurks in the middle now as it breaks for Di María. In it comes, just taken away from Ibrahimovic. Comes back to Lucas Moura, whose shot is blocked.
Blocked by who, Jonathan? Bassa once again.
Aurier's down.
He was caught, but there was a good advantage played by Rude Bouquet, the referee. You can see here Sidibé catching Aurier. Referee immediately waving play on.
Food for thought. Penny for your thoughts, Laurent. They led Bordeaux to victory in the final of the League Cup. They beat Lyon, and he was there, a good spell at Bordeaux, won the league with them as well. Korsha. Maguba into Amadou, the 23-year-old holding midfield player, and they can break here. Amal Patano, Eder is in the middle. Real chance here for Lille. They've got to start taking these. Was that a push by Eder?
There's no need for that because the opportunity was there. Eder wasn't going to get on the cross. It's coming out to the far area. Boufal picking it up. Needlessly breaks up that attack for his team.
He's a big target man, Eder. Just not sure whether he's top quality player.
Well, we haven't seen a great deal of him tonight. One opportunity in the penalty box where if his touch had been really on, he would have created an opportunity for himself. Heavy touch with his heel, but no real clear-cut sight of goal yet.
I think he's in a league that suits him. Certainly don't think the Premier League suited him. He won't get another chance though. Back at Swansea's Matuidi, that's handball. Approaching the hour.
I think that just sums up the second half for PSG. It's not happening at the moment. It's not flowing. They're turning over possession. The ball's breaking down. And Lille, with that equaliser, will feel very, very confident.
They talked in the build-up to this about the effect of the Manchester City defeat. Would they still be up for it? And they said, yes, it's a final. Yes, we will be. It's an important game. But all this to the backdrop of the manager's imminent removal, and then Mourinho linked with the club and others, and so much is going on behind the scenes. It must have affected players. Have they got enough spirit, determination? Ibrahimovic, lack of understanding with Lucas Moura. I can't believe he'll be on the field long, Lucas Moura.
Well, at score one apiece, you would have to say that with Cavani, with Verratti, there's some top quality. Needless mistake.
Di María was in there. Rescuing challenge again, and another opportunity goes begging for Paris Saint-Germain off a Lille mistake.
Well, Enyeama just saying to Bassa it was a square pass, and he nearly put Di María in before the challenge came in, as Di María was about to fire in the opportunity.
Again, the penalty box predator awaits his opportunity. High cross, easy for the goalkeeper. And he was impeded as he went to release then.
He's pointing the finger at Marquinhos.
Marquinhos is telling him to get back in the goal.
Well, there's no doubt Enyeama still feels aggrieved from that opening goal. But this man have been really happy with the way his team's responded at the beginning of this second half.
And they're beaten in the air. So it's back in a decent final. Thiago Silva. To pressurise him more, I think, is Marquinhos. He's played well. He does a lot of running for his older compatriot, of course. Really sneak that through to Pastore. He's made some lovely runs into space. Unforced error again by Lille. Di María Treaty on the edge of the penalty area, further across. Straight down the throat of Enyeama.
But higher pressure from PSG, not allowing Lille to settle on the ball and control the tempo of the game.
Strange old career, Enyeama. He escaped a kidnapping attempt back in Nigeria in 2009. Won the African Cup of Nations in 2013, but he got into trouble. I'll tell you about that a little bit later on. Here's Ángel Di María. They claim the corner.
Well, PSG have just been a little bit sloppy, and all of a sudden they can sense that there's chances here. Lille regaining possession, Boufal coming and sweeping the ball onto his left foot. The near post shot, Sirigu had to make sure he turned it round.
Spray from Abuba. Painkilling spray. In comes the corner from Boufal. And headed wide by Abama Sumara. What I was going to say about Enyeama, Clive, they won the African Cup of Nations in 2013, but there's a referee called Jamal Haimoudi, as we see that one again drop wide, and he tried to lift him up over his head in the celebration. He got into real trouble. He'd also promised that he'd strip to his pants if they won. They did win. I don't think he stripped. To the relief of everyone, but he's been a controversial, great character in the game, as Vincent Enyeama. Now, here comes Boufal at the other end. Obadi chips to the far post, and Amalfitano was coming in, and that's good defending by Laven Kurzawa.
Good defensive position from Kurzawa on this occasion. Corsair did it superbly well for Lille in the first half. That's an important back header from the PSG left back.
And suddenly his goal is under pressure. Won this competition last year and the year before. Won it at a cruise last year against Bastia. This is a much more difficult affair. Sofiane Boufal will swing this corner away, invite the run. Basha was up there with his height and power, and all the way through, and Obadi will keep this in, I would think.
And right from the beginning of this second half, it's been Lille asking the questions. They've got themselves level, they're pressurising the cup holders.
Boufal has stayed wide on the right, having taken the corner. Runs at Rabiot. He's on a yellow card, of course. Pastore elegant and elusive with some of his runs. Maybe got a clip there from Amadou, or went over on his ankle. Did he turn his ankle, or was there contact?
Ooh, there was a contact, yeah. You can see the way that ankle crumbles underneath him.
Well, he's not afraid to put himself about, Ibrahim Amadou, Cameroon-born midfielder. He's had a good run. He started the last 14 games for them now, as their form has really picked up. They're in competition for European places through the league now, and you never would have seen that at the turn of the year. Drew too many games early on in the campaign.
But they've come with a storming run, especially their last 6 victories back-to-back.
One of the best runs in European football at the moment. Finally found goal fluency, and they found the back of the net right at the start of this second half. Amadou on, Abuba, Amalfitano.
When you run a run like that, Jonathan, as well, it breeds confidence. They believe that they can score goals.
Right towards Eder, Quinhos definitely done, and time here for Thiago Silva. Given away so cheaply. Obadi and Boufal. Sidibé was on the overlap. Back to Obadi. Mabuba's to his right-hand side. Amalfitano, one more. No. Went for goal. And took the deflection off Rabiot. It's all Lille.
It is Lille, and Boufal's being more and more involved. He's certainly starting to show the confidence and ability that he has. Everything that's good about Lille seems to be coming through Boufal. They're the ones in the ascendancy.
And if you've just joined us, the Paris Saint-Germain goal, very controversial, should have been scrubbed off for offside. Almost imagine the half-time team talk by Frédéric Cantonelli, the manager of Lille. In comes the cross, headed away by Ibrahimovic. He'd have said to his players, do not be beaten by a goal like that. Do you want to be beaten by a goal like that? Do not be beaten by a goal like that.
Absolutely, and the response right from the beginning of the second half has been positive from Lille. They've not gone under, they've gone from strength to strength, deserve to be level.
Chucked out by Marquinhos. They were cleared by Kazawa, they can't get out at the moment. Ibrahimovic hasn't been the factor we thought he would be. Nor has been largely disappointing. Ángel Di María had a bright start but has faded. Saint-Germain on the back foot, 24 minutes to go, 1-1. Long throw here by Sebastian Korsha all the way through. Mapatano was in the middle, it's a decent header away. And Silva composed. Serge Aurier.
Well, we've gone way past the hour mark, which normally is the time when those first changes start to take place. It'll be very interesting to see how Laurent Blanc feels that he can affect his team.
Made a double change against Lorient in the French Cup in midweek in the semi-final. Brought on Pastore and Amara around about this time. Came on for Cavani. You can only think that Cavani will come on imminently. FA Cup semi-final tomorrow at Wembley. Don't miss this one for the right to play Manchester United in the Cup final. Crystal Palace against Watford. Tomorrow night, the European Football Show. All the news, all the gossip. And of course that previews the big one from Serie A, Fiorentina against Juventus, defending champions. Can they get the result which will edge them towards a successful title defence?
French champions are not finding this easy, Jonathan, are they?
The runaway French champions. Was a year ago, this very weekend, we saw them play absolutely annihilate Lille in Paris in the Ligue game where they won 6-1. And closing in on the title, and very nearly a mistake. Thiago Silva, square ball, and Abadi was caught.
Well, this is the difference in the second half, that Lille have pressed, they've hurried PSG up, they've not been able to control the ball with possession. It's breaking down too often, and back come Lille again.
Here's Eder. Mavuba will run all day. Abadi has become more of an influence as the game has gone on. He nearly got to that. Pastore, Rabiot, it's a good ball round the corner, that. And he's dragged down here by Amadou. I wonder if this will be a yellow card.
Quality in the way that PSG just broke that midfield line, and Amadou having to chase back, challenging from behind. You can see clipping the right heel of Rabiot and picking up a yellow card.
Second one for the team there. A team that is doing well at the moment, but one slip could let the likes of this man in. Having to come deeper and deeper to find the ball. Rabiot, that's poor, that's tired. And, well, he's in trouble here. He's already on a yellow. And the referee should send him off.
It's incredible, isn't it? Now it's the right boot clearance.
Di María with the corner. Next goal will surely do it. Oh, the goalkeeper came and had to get back and claw.
Well, that's curling in, and he has to get something on it, and you can see with the faintest fingertips just keeping it out from swinging into that far post.
Di Maria's goal gives Paris Saint-Germain this 2-1 lead. Second in the competition. Here comes David Luiz. They are prepared to shut up shop, it would seem. They'll go to a 3 at the back. Here's Matuidi. Di María. Mafetano there with him. Oh, lovely ball, wait on the ball. Pastore jinking to get beyond Adair. He was having none of it. Kept his eyes glued on the ball and not the body movement of the opponent.
You're right, Jonathan. Good defending that is from Adair.
Luis will replace Pastore. His goal gave them the lead. He's had a good final. He is an elegant player, isn't he?
Yeah, nicely balanced and certainly fantastic on the ball. Some controversy about the opening goal that he scored, but he's played his part.
On comes the man. Chelsea fans nicknamed Sideshow Bob after the Simpsons character. You know the cartoon. Champions League winner and Europa League winner with Chelsea. For all his critics, he's won things throughout his career. Double at Benfica, Cup at Benfica. Champion with Paris Saint-Germain, what is it now? On 2 occasions. Just sit in.
Yeah, he's just coming to screen in front of the 2 centre-halves.
They might have gone to a 3, didn't you, Clive?
I did. I thought that might be the way Laurent Blanc goes, but certainly with Verratti and Luis now just in front of that back 4.
Well, anyway, Lyon can profit this by going wide. That's a mistake by Sidibé. Have they made one too many mistakes? Ibrahimovic and Enyeama spread himself well and has kept Lille in this cup tie only just.
It's a good stop, but I think Ibrahimovic is saying to Di María as he capitalises on the mistake, it's just slightly too heavy, the ball through. You can see he's having to stretch for it. He can't get his boot under it to lift it over Enyeama. Good block from the goalkeeper.
A wistful look at the giant screen to see how close it came. A conversation between Di María and Guillaume Dubar, the assistant. Low, now away by Adair again. In goes Verratti. Strong in the challenge as always. This is a good run into the penalty area. Di María went to put it back. They would have gone off Amadou. It's a corner anyway.
Enyeama's saying that it's already out, but this is good wing play from Di María, taking it right to that byline, and you can see he doesn't run it out. What an important touch from Verratti, throwing himself to ground to keep that move going.
It was Sumaru got that block in. Di María must be a better corner, taken short. Verratti ran on Luis.
Amazing, Jonathan, since the sending off. PSG have been the better side. 10 men, and I think they've shown their quality. They've come to the fore, they've got themselves in front.
Again, that's a sign of a side that has it too easy, too long. But they can step up when they have to be competitive, they are. So, if Lille can get Ronnie on the ball, something might happen. I saw him have a starring role for Manchester City in a League Cup semi-final at West Ham when he was there. He had a fantastic game that night. And meanwhile, Basha, pressurised by Ibrahimovic, gets it back to the goalkeeper. Ronnie was at Manchester City for a while. Went to Lille on loan, then went to Monaco for a lot of money, and Lille again on loan. Here's Sidibé. Aurier and Verratti to David Luiz. I always think should play in there anyway, but he's lost possession now, and Adair. Foul. And Obadi.
That is a chance.
That was so close. Scored the other week against Monaco for the first time this season, Munir Abadi. Well, Enyeama, I said earlier, Clive, he's had this weird and wonderful career, and he's had a weird and wonderful cup final. Of course, he's had a terrific night One moment Enyeama's been making great saves, the next minute he's been beaten by a controversial goal, and then he's spoon-fed the Paris Saint-Germain winner. Ibrahimovic. Aurier pressurising Sidibé. He won that. And gets it back. Obadi. Mokotano now in that more central role with Ronnie on the right-hand side. They've not committed enough bodies forward yet, though. Pass forcing the stretch, and Verratti got the challenge in.
Much more of an urgency about the way PSG are defending, closing down. They can just now sense that this third cup victory is in their grasp.
Only when they went down to 10 men did they really show they really wanted this. Mokotano, the give and go. Ronnie doesn't give it back though. Movement to his left-hand side is Sofiane Boufal. Sort of flitted a periphery of the ball and despair.
Enyeama comes out and makes a horrendous decision to give PSG the lead.
On there by Matuidi. Then we get the Champions League back with you this week and back with a bang. Semi-final first leg, Manchester City against Real Madrid, and Manchester City have a player called Sergio Aguero who could play a major role in that game. And Villarreal Liverpool Thursday in the Europa League semi-final. That is a very complex tie. Not that the other one isn't. What a belter, Manchester City through to that stage for the first time ever. Flying the flag importantly for England.
I'm going to say, Jonathan, in with a chance of beating Real Madrid.
Here's Ronnie. Oh, it skipped away off the defender's boot. Thiago Silva it was, and it's a corner kick. But he has the ability to make things happen, Ronnie.
Well, it was explosive, and the shot is heading towards that near post as Sirigu throws himself away to the left-hand side before the deflection off of Silva takes it wide.
In comes across, the goalkeeper has to readjust, it bounces off Aurier. Sirigu must have seen that very late.
Yeah, late reaction, and in the end he pats it down. They managed to scramble it away.
Got a bit lucky there, the big Italian goalkeeper. Only 29. Second choice at Paris Saint-Germain. A lot of teams will be alerted to that. By Ibrahimovic. And Sidibé is there, but tired. Di María had a little clip at the heels. Amadou. Junior Abadi. Still trying to play football, Lille. Pasha. Ronnie Korsha, the right back, is out there.
Well, they have the numerical advantage. Can they create just one more last chance to give them the opportunity to level this game up?
Need to get Sidibé out wide and get it out to him. He can drive from there. He's in space now. Look, he's gone out wide. Pasha. Away from Ibrahimovic. Three men in the middle. One on the edge of the penalty area. Boufal. Now here is Sidibé. Five in the middle now. Low cross in. And eased away by Marquinhos.
Well, it was good control possession. They worked, crossing opportunity. In the end, Sidibé's cross wasn't of the quality that was needed.
Ada too strong for Marquinhos, and again the Brazilian stabs out a leg. Sidibé tries to set up Obadi with a shot, very nearly deflected on through, and Basha was waiting. He's still there on the edge as they rebuild again. Munir Obadi. The Moroccan international holds on. Verratti snapping at his heels, a real terrier. And in the end, a free kick against him. Wow, that Let's see that again.
Yeah, I think he's unfortunate. I think Verratti stuck to his task, almost wore him down, but referee Monsieur Bouquet gives them the opportunity. Back come Lille.
Korsha with the cross. Amalfitano. Blocking there by Kasawa, I think it was. Ronnie twisting and turning. Luis did well. Abadi, can he get his way through? They've gone very narrow. And in the end, that's the goalkeeper's, and he'll duck out of it and accept that goal kick in the last minute of play.
Lille just not had that quality, although they've had that advantage. Now he must feel Enyeama. Di María capitalising on his decision to come out. It's the last of his participation in this cup final. But his goal might well be enough for PSG to retain the cup for a third consecutive time.
And comes Cavani, the first man ever to come off a bench and score in a League Cup final in France. The first man to score 2 in back-to-back finals. I don't think he's got enough time to do that tonight. But he's moments away from a hat-trick of League Cup winners' medals. And that's a sliced and erratic clearance by a young man, Ibrahim Amadou. 3 minutes of stoppage time between Paris Saint-Germain and a third League Cup triumph on the spin. And he knows his team worked themselves into a really good position and shot themselves in the foot.
Well, when you play a team of PSG's quality, the one thing you can't afford to do is to make too many mistakes, Jonathan. When you do, you get punished, and that's exactly what's happened to his team tonight. Great effort.
Ronnie got through that challenge far too easily. Eder didn't get a sense that Marquinhos was coming. The referee's pulled it back for the earlier one, I think.
Good refereeing. He's tried to give Lille the advantage.
Love to have been a witness to the Antonelli half-time team talk. Big burly man, you wouldn't argue him with you, would you? Up towards the edge of the penalty area, drops a Korsha, tried to spin it once the corner, goal kick.
So difficult, trying to strike it with the outside of his right boot. Lassero's give absolutely everything, can hardly move. And Ibra, who's had a quiet night. Enyeama, who's had a very, very eventful one.
Well, Lille, because of their League form pressing for Europe, they've got Angers at home, Lorient away, Guingamp at home and Saint-Etienne away to complete their fixtures. Cavani's run offside. Matuidi has to hold. Here's Ibrahimovic. It's the one big moment in the final to come from him. Kasawa tucked around the corner by the big Swedish international, the deft touch. And eventually it's cleared away. Up to the halfway line, Eder is fouled. Well, that's a rash free kick to concede for one so experienced in Thiago Silva.
Maybe just the one last chance that they need. Enyeama must be coming forward to take it. Push everybody up.
This is it for Lille, their last chance surely. And Sidibé's header will go ever so slowly out. Free kick, I think, against Basha anyway. A grimace. What a game he's had. And at 32, he won't get chances like this again. Well, they're celebrating prematurely, and they're celebrating like a team that really did want this. And we've seen that hunger late on in this final. Lumped up towards Eder. Basha up there as well with him now. There's a makeshift centre. Oh, Sidibé levelling with a free kick just after half-time, but a dreadful error by Vincent Enyeama, the Lille goalkeeper. And in went Di María to deny Frederic Antonelli's team the victory. We'll be back for the celebrations in just a few moments' time. But Paris... He can hold his head up high. He had a wonderful final, Clive, didn't he? Korsha, the right back.
outstanding. His defensive covering on that right-hand side of defence was so important on a number of occasions, and then certainly had the ability going forward to join in and create opportunities, crossing on a number of times down that right-hand side.
Well, they played their part in a final that was a lot closer than many people predicted. They played with spirit and distinction, and twice they were on top in the game, only to suffer sucker punches really right into the guts of their FA Cup final effort. The first goal, we are in no doubt, should have been struck on.
Yep, they was unfortunate with that decision, but the one thing that you cannot afford to do is make crucial mistakes, because PSG, with the quality that we all know they have, will punish you, and that's exactly what happened. It was a valiant effort from Lille, but once again PSG are the cup holders.
And it's the runner-up shield and the medals. For Ria Mavuba and Basha and Enyeama. The big Adair comes through. What will the future hold for him on loan from Swansea? Enyeama. Oh, the look, the haunted look in his face just speaks volumes. He knows what's happened to him tonight. There's the youngster going through. Well, they played their part. A little handshake there from the president.
Balmont, who didn't have an opportunity to play, a unbelievably good servant to Lille.
Michel Seydoux has changed so much about Lille in the last couple of years again. Film producer who is president of the club, and there's Obadi, who very nearly equalised at the tail end, and Sidibé, whose goal levelled things up. A wry look there. Boufal, of whom I'm sure we'll hear a lot more in the future. He's only 22, he has 11 goals this season in a team that has struggled for goals. Looks a live wire for me, Clive. Sofiane Boufal.
And I think that the run that Lille have been on, consecutive victories that they've racked up, I think shows that they're building for a big season next year.
But the pom-poms are gold for Paris Saint-Germain as they go up to win another trophy. They will be back here at the end of the season to meet Marseille in the French Cup to try and complete another memorable treble, another memorable achievement. Cavani scoring the last two League Cup finals, didn't get a chance today until very late from the bench. The lights in the stadium dip for the theatre of the presentation, the drama of it all. Cavani moves away, flag of his country on his back, and so we see the lights of the phones all around the stadium. Doesn't help me in my attempts to identify the players moving through. Oh, there's Di María, and then the big goalkeeper Sirigu, who Clive would like to see as the first choice goalkeeper here ahead of Trapp.
Yeah, I think he's a model of consistency, is Sirigu. But these are the domestic winners. They win everything in French football, and they have the opportunity now with that cup final against Marseille to come to do it once again.
A Brazilian flag on the back of Marquinhos, who had a good final. There's the winning goal scorer, Di María. They get a replica of the cup as their own personal mementos rather than medals, which I think they also get a medal. And a selfie for Di María in there, and Kurzawa. And
it's becoming a habit, isn't it?
A full moon, a blue moon, not against Manchester City, but here for the blue shirts of Paris Saint-Germain. League Cup winners for the third time, and in there is the captain, Thiago Silva. And in a moment you'll see all the cameras taking the pictures. Paris Saint-Germain announced as the winners of this year's French League Cup. You can see at the back there, Rabiot takes his medal despite being sent. Oh, there's the cup at last. And it's in the hands of the captain. And he'll move to the front. And he'll show it to the Stade de France. Knights have had their luck. They've benefited from errors. But the shower of celebration is for the French League Cup champions again. Once more, Paris Saint-Germain. The irrepressible, the unbeatable, it would seem. Paris Saint-Germain 2, Lille 1. That's the way it's finished here. A brave battle by Lille. I hope you've enjoyed it.